Welcome to the Front Row Racing Fridays Cup, live from Hungary. I'm Front Row Racing NW, joined by Front Row Racing RI, also known as Ray, and we're looking at a soaking wet Hungary ring, which is going to put an interesting test and interesting twist for the drivers to try and tackle. As I say, joined by Front Row Racing RI. How are you doing, Ray?
I'm fine, Edam. How are you?
Oh, brilliant. Now that I know that Edam Hills is definitely stuck, life is great.
This is going to be a wet race as well.
Should be nice and exciting then. We have a couple new drivers racing today. We have Dean Tiley and Hybrid Nuke. Now, do you expect them to put in a decent performance straight away, or will it be a learning curve this week?
I don't have a clue because I've never raced them and I've never seen them on track, so they could surprise us or they could shock us.
Hopefully surprise us in a nice way. Alright, on board we have Stocky 2790. He's on the Inters, so the track not completely soaked, and he'll be looking probably at a lap time of 1:26 probably on the Inters, as a high 120s or 120 low 121s is on the options. So I'd say the track's what, 5 seconds slower on Inters?
Yeah, it could be 5 seconds, yeah.
Alright.
Depends on the setup as well.
Well, that's true, yeah. Because I think Stocky did not finish the last race due to technical issues. So this is another chance for one of our league drivers to actually put in a good showing, and also give a little bit of competition to the new drivers, especially the Fridays Cup drivers. This is the best place to show off the talents to get into World Series if they use assists, or World Championship if they don't use assists, like the real guys.
And you can still get a call up for reserve.
Exactly, there you go. Always worth joining the Fridays Cup. And you can do that by messaging Front Row Racing on Facebook or tweeting us at Front Row Racing PS3 on Twitter. And we have a YouTube channel, Front Row Racing, which we're streaming live on now. And you can also check previous races, track guides as well for the season that we are racing at the moment. Always good to have a look and always join in. Good banter on the page as well. No matter if you're into the racing or not, if you want a bit of fun, join our page, join the community. As we look at Stocky Sector 1 time at 30.614, which is not too bad for the Inter, so it could be
2 seconds lower than the 28s that they were getting on the drive.
So do you reckon that they kind of tracks at a crossover point? It's near the crossover for maybe going on the dries? Because the track doesn't look too bad.
It looks wetter than last night's race, but a 30 and this kind of wet, that's 2 seconds on that sector, so yeah, you're right, 5 to 6 seconds, you were right.
There you go, I don't get much right, but I get the timing right, that's brilliant. See, last night's race, World Series, was quite exciting. If you didn't watch that race, you can watch it in a couple of days when it will be on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel. Dry race, plenty of incidents. With what, 6-7 laps to go, it chucked it down. There was people going for the Inters, and some people tried staying out on the options when the track was absolutely soaked, and it cost, I'd say it cost Rickster a win, because second place Konzo pitted for the Inters. A brilliant decision, and he gets the win. So it just shows you got to make the right tyre decision. As we, a 129. Sorry, right, what was that?
We got done last night.
Right, we're on board with Twist Royalty in the Mercedes AMGs on the Inter. Sector 1 time 30.4, Sector 2 33.0, Sector 3 25.7. It leaves him in third place at the moment. A Sector 1 time on his current fast lap 30.445. Now Twist Royalty is a relatively new driver, I think. I think this is his second or third drive, and he's got potential. What do you think on the platform for using Friday's Cup, as that's very wide by Twist Royalty there, extending the track more than he should be doing. What do you think, Ray? Would you say this is a a place to develop your skills for World Series and World Championship? Do you think this is all a benefit for the drivers?
Yeah, this is quite a benefit because it'll show us, even though if they want to race look clean, but when they're in that racing situation, if they start racing dirty, then you've got that, well, you won't start racing dirty, so you can talk to them and get it, say, they get it in, and then they start doing it as the way front row racing would like it, and it gives them that wee opportunity, and it's great.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's brilliant.
Instead of the World Trophy for last year we had, where drivers came in and could smash empty out, and because that was a league race, it caused a lot of tension sometimes, and that might have put some drivers off actually racing that week. But I think the new feeder system is quite great.
Yeah, I think it's always a positive. Kind of like it's a different sport. Well, some people might not call it sport, like wrestling. You have WWE, which would you class as front row racing, the leader of online racing, front row racing, the leader of wrestling, WWE, and then you have NXT. It's this feeder show, and that's where people can come and get the bad habits out of them. This is what Friday's Cup's about. You know, everyone has bad habits from racing online. I used to. But you drive the front row racing way, you learn not to cut corners, which increases your speed around a track, which is funny because you think cutting corners you'd be quicker, but you don't, because you could get disqualified or anything could happen, as we see Charlie JBWC09 having a little bit of an incident. Well, a little bit kept it controlled, he nearly spun out completely. But I'd say Friday's Cup is the place to get rid of the bad habits, learn to race the correct way, and then pick up some good skills and move up and move forward, and you never know, become world champion or World Series champion. So who's your pick for pole position?
Oh, for pole position? I don't know.
I will go for Konzo.
I was gonna go Konzo, but I seen him race yesterday, and he never got pole position yesterday, so I don't know if he could do this.
Right, on board.
Still in the pits, why is he not out?
He didn't really qualify last night, if in World Series, if I can remember rightly. I think he retired. Maybe it's expecting issues at the first corner.
He wrote his car off in the
first
corner, out the pits, lost it at the first corner and into the wall.
Right, on board with Hybrid Nuke. I have raced with Hybrid Nuke in a previous race. Good solid driver, has some speed about him, and he seems to know the FRR ways before joining FRR, because he keeps it clean, tries to keep it within the track limits. He's currently set Sector 1 time of 30.380 on the Inters, and I'd say if the Sector 1 time comes down to 29.5 or 29.4, I'd say the track's probably getting nearer and nearer to the crossover point for maybe the dry tyres. It'd be a brave decision, as we see Hybrid Nuke have a little bit of a shaky little exit out of, get me track map up, turn 12. And we're coming into the tricky turn 13. It's just so frustrating, that turn, as we go into the last corner, turn 14. He's keeping it nice and tight. Early on the power, a little bit of a slide, and he comes to set a lap time of 1:29.522, putting him 8th. From 10th to 8th, nice little lap there. As we go on board with Dave the Harp on his Inters. Sorry, Ray.
We're down to 127, high 127 for the pole position.
So we are currently about 5 to 6 seconds slower than the option fastest lap So I would say maybe another second and a half if that gets shaved off. Not a lot of time left, but if that gets shaved off, I would expect 1 or 2 drivers to risk it on the dry tyres. Would you agree?
A wet start with the potential for showers throughout, so it could dry up, and then a shower can come on and dry up again, so... Yeah.
It's going to be interesting as we're on board with Dave de Harp on the intermediate tyres on an outlap at present, just coming into turn 12. And we are coming up on board with the Williams driver into turn 13. As I say, it's a frustrating corner. It seems to take an age as you put on the accelerator at the exit of the corner, just to make sure you don't have any messy incident. As we come into turn 14, the last corner of the circuit, he exits turn 14 nice and early on the power, and I'm assuming DRS would be available as it's not too wet as he starts his timed lap. Would you think DRS is on, Ray, or not?
I'm just trying to check in his mirrors. It didn't seem it was open, so I'm not too sure. Usually when you go into driver view, the DRS shows as they use it compared to broadcast. Well, I know you're not on broadcast, but on driver view it usually comes up. So I don't know what if you sit inside the cockpit. It usually comes up, but it doesn't seem to be on, so I don't know, it might still be too wet.
Maybe a little bit too wet at the moment as we come into turn 6 and 7, a tricky chicane. As long as you don't take too much of the curb on the chicane, it shouldn't unsettle the car, as David Harp puts that in a decent position without unsettling his car, keeping it nice and tidy in between the racing lines, which we like to see. A good example to the rest of the drivers, especially the new Fridays drivers, as it is a decent way to show how you should tackle every track. Keep it in between the lines, keep it nice and tidy, and put a good example out there as we come into turn 13 for Dave de Harp on his into sector 1 30.580, sector 2 33.7, and we're probably looking at a lap time of 129, I'd say, if he crosses the line. Let's see, we're already at 128, 129, a 130.524, putting him 10th. I'm sure he could go a lot faster as we are on board with the Mercedes AMG of Hindle, currently first on the Inters. Previous lap time, sector 1 30.0, sector 2 32.5, sector 3 25.3, I think that was. He's actually been put down to second at the moment, so someone has actually taken provisional pole. So what are your thoughts on Hindle at the moment, Ray?
Yeah, he's been a good driver. All he's had to do is try and keep it on the track, within the track limits. He's going to be running fast once when he finally gets that full-time drive. I think he'll take it to a lot of the drivers.
As looking on board with him at the moment, he is exceeding track limits, as we say, in World Championship and World Series. That would be penalised by the race stewards. But in Friday's Cup we are lenient, we do not apply penalties, we just give advice. And Hindle is a very fast driver, but he needs to keep it a little bit cleaner if he wants to become a reserve again and can participate in World Series or World Championship. The thing is, it's all good and being fast and thinking, I'll just cut a few corners here just to get around the lap a bit quicker. But we play it fair at front row racing. We don't matter if you're slow, if you're fast, we need good racecraft. Be a bit respectful to the other cars around you and you will get far. As I'm riding on board with Stocky 2790, currently second on the intermediate tyres, sector 1 time 32.3, sector 2 35.1, as he pits and abandons the lap. On board with Stringy B92.
Fast lap he done.
He went fastest, but he did ETL quite a lot, which just shows if that was in a World Series or World Championship, that time will be null and void and he would start at the back, if I'm correct. Is that correct, Ray?
I think the stewards put a penalty on to the time.
There you go, even worse, you don't want that. On board with Stringer B92, currently on the Inters, currently third position. A sector 1 time 30.1. Seems like people are struggling to break into the 29s in sector 1, come up to turn 6 and 7, the chicane. He's gone a little bit wide and he's taken too much curb on the exit of turn 7. He's a decent little driver, Stringy B92, quite fast, especially at Silverstone. He had quite a bit of speed about him. What's your take on Stringy B92, Ray?
I've not really watched him drive, to be honest. There's a few guys I've not really sat and watched and seen how they get on. Just jump through, but if he keeps the times up and keeps it clean, the top 3, 4, well there's Dean Taylor up to 4th, so...
Oh, he's had a very, very messy exit on the turn 7. Dean Tiley took too much curb on the exit of the chicane and he's retired from the session. On board with Konzo, currently 5th on the Inters. Sector 1 time 30.347, Sector 2 32.783. Now, I thought he would be going for pole. You doubted that, and maybe you were right to doubt that, because of course he's fast in the race, but qualifying, some people are quick in qualifying and then slow in the race.
The clouds have come over more. I've been watching Sky quite a lot, and the clouds have been coming over quite a lot over that start-finish straight.
And there we have it, folks. Ray likes to watch Sky. There are other satellite and cable operators you can watch and buy from. We're on board with Twist Royalty, currently 8th on the Inter, Sector 1 time 30.7, Sector 2 32 seconds. Didn't catch the rest, that was on his previous fast lap. On this fast lap at Sector 1 time 30.631. And he's coming up to the tricky 6 and 7, as we know as the chicane. And he's got to make sure he just takes it nice and right, not too much curb, and he's taking it perfectly there. Twist Royalty is really going to put on a good show on this lap. Hopefully he can improve from 8th, maybe probably get up to the top 4. That would be a good showing from him, making sure he keeps within the track limits, which is a brilliant way to get yourself noticed to progress onto the reserves list. Still keeping it within track limits, taking a bit of curb, but still within the white lines, which is good to see as we come out of turn 12. Coming up to the frustrating turn 13, as it looks like it's raining a little bit more, which is going to impact as he takes, well, he understeered right badly out of the exit of turn 13, comes into turn 14. He's trying to keep it tight, but the car has a bit of understeer. Maybe it's still a bit of water that's just pushing him a bit wide. He's 8th and he's having a little bit of a weaving session down the start-finish straight. Maybe a bit of celebratory mood as we are on board with My Bad in the Sauber, currently 10th. He's on his outlap on the Inters. Now, what do you think about My Bad? Friday's Cup driver, got promoted to World Series. What do you think of his story, Ray?
He's been a good, he was good. He hasn't done F1 much, but he's been quite good on it. He is still learning though, he has had a couple of incidents, but he's quite a nice, calm, gentle giant, as I say. But
well, you know what? I think his story is quite amazing, because I am not the fastest driver, as well noted in every race on the World Series if you watch the videos on YouTube, but My Bad was, when I first raced with him, about 4 or 5 seconds slower than me. But with more practice, he has become a super quick driver, super clean, respectful driver, a decent lad as well. Nothing but kind words from him, and that's the whole package we want. And he is now, from Friday's Cup, he's been promoted to World Series. He's racing with the Williams team and putting on a decent show, scoring some decent points as well. And that is what Friday's Cup is about, finding some true gems.
Oh, he's just picking down the straight, yeah, back to my Bad. I did race with him. I don't know if it was a Friday Cup week or we were both reserves, and he pushed me till I lost my tyres and he got ahead. I was raging that night. Oh, Stringy holding up Kindle.
Oh, that is not what we want to see. Now, in an incident like this, World Championship or World Series, that would be frowned upon, but Friday's Cup is still frowned upon, but he will be getting a bit of an advice, not penalty. Maybe he needs to just watch himself, Stringy B92, and be more race aware. As we have the qualifying result: Hindle first, Stocky second, third Stringy B92, fourth Dean Tiley, Conzo fifth, Hybrid Nuke sixth, Charlie JB WC09 seventh, Twist Royalty eighth, David Harp ninth, My Bad 10th, Richie Davey 11th. And that was a good showing from the two new drivers, 4th and 6th.
Yeah, and from 4th place down till the back, it's only about 1.5 seconds or something. I couldn't quite catch it, so there'll be close battles.
1.4 seconds between 4th and 10th, which is good, really good. As Stringy B tried the options as noted by yourself, Ray and Dave, it was brave to say the least, but well, there you go. It's gone from wet to dry in the space of 30 seconds. And who said global warming's a bad thing?
I thought the drivers were going to have to learn to swim.
There you go. It just shows you crazy European weather. This will be an interesting start to the race. Do you see any carnage like at Silverstone?
I'm sure we'll have a wee couple of crashes. We have a driver right at the back. It might be over King.
It is, and we have Stringy B92 apologising for blocking Hindle. That is a decent thing to do, appreciated, and it just shows you that he was aware of what he did, and it's nice that he apologised. So kudos to him, as we will retire. On board with Stringy B92 is his third, as Hindle is first, Stocky second, Dean Tiley third, and a few cars going off just a little bit wide at turn 1. A good clean start to the race, which we like to see, as Mercedes AMG of Hindle is chased down by Stocky, similar to the Silverstone race. Stocky and Hindle building a little bit of a rivalry in the Friday's Cup, which is good to see. We need a little bit of rivalries in the Friday's Cup, just makes it a little bit more interesting as a Friday. Ferrari looked like it was taking a bit of a Tokyo drift around the corner there. Kept it under control, still gone a bit wide as Conzo is closing up on to the Ferrari. As we have a car that's... oh, there's going to be carnage. Let's go and check this with Charlie JBWC in. Got a McLaren Honda of Conzo behind him. It looks like the track is, as we'd call it, green, no grip, as the cars are sliding about on the option tyres. And it's very, very hectic at the moment. What do you think's happening with the track, Ray? Do you think there's no grip there?
No rubber on it at all. I think it's still like you would need the inters to begin with, because there's no grip at all. So I think they're all on the options. I'm just going down the list to check.
And Stocky seems to have suffered majorly, because he was second, closing in on Hindle. And he's now fourth, as Charlie's had contact with Stocky. Oh, I'll hold judgment on that. And there's contact. Stocky's gone into the barrier. Stocky is having a shocking lap.
Richie Davies pushed.
Conzo's taken to the grass. Was that contact from Richie Davey there, Ray?
Yeah, and now we had My Bad and Stocky. 3 wide? No. 2 wide? No. Something that Conzo must have damaged. He's so slow.
I'm surprised Stocky has not got no damage after contact with a barrier and another car.
Royalty and Overdyke King went up the back of him and spun him.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen that are watching drama as it's unfolding. Friday's Cup. You'll never be short of some shocking moments in the race. On board with Conzo, 9th place at the moment, as Over the Kink is trying to attack Stocky, going from 8th to 7th. And no, Stocky's managed to keep in front of him as they go around turn 13. It's Stocky, Over the Kink and Conzo, followed by Tiley, as we have a car going off at the back, and Over the Kink is going past Stocky, and we have Konzo lining up a move on Stocky. He's trying to get a bit of slipstream, but you don't want to stay too behind that car for too long, or you will lose aerodynamic performance as Konzo steps out of the way at the back. He's going for a move on Over the Kink. Stocky's just going backwards through the field. He may have a bit of damage, we don't know. So it's Over the Kink in 7th, Stocky 8th, Konzo 9th, Dave the Harp in 10th, and it looks like a quite interesting battle in the middle of the pack. So, who do you see coming out of this little battle strongest, Ray?
I don't know, because it can go anyway, because Stocky outbreaks himself, he's going to hit Over the Kink, but Konzo's going for the overtake on Stocky. Stocky's going backwards.
That is shocking. Yeah, if you could see if there's any damage to Stocky's car, because this is quite interesting, because it's very rare to see him going backwards as we go on board with My Bad, Sauber F1 team driver for Friday's Cup this week.
I can't see anything. His front wing looks all intact. There's nothing on the rear, there's no punctures.
That is very odd. Maybe it's just shaking him a little bit with all the incidents. He's trying to keep it clean as we are on board with Richie Davey in the Lotus getting chased down by Charlie. Is Stocky in the pits?
Yeah.
Will you stay on board to see if he's getting any nose change or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll see if he's getting a nose job.
There we go, celebrities are doing it now, the race drivers. Oh, we've had Charlie's gone into the barrier out of turn 1, I think it is. Just try and go on board with him. Yep, he's down to 6th.
Sorry to butt in, just a change of tyres.
Well, that is weird from Stocky, but Charlie was chasing down Richie Davey in the Lotus. Charlie's lost his nose and Charlie has retired from the race as Over the Kink has gone wide, trying to get past Charlie's car. So we are down another driver as Stringer B92 is chasing down Hybrid Nuke, currently 2nd. What a performance from the driver so far, as we'll stay on board with this battle as Hybrid Nuke is looking to impress. First race for Friday's Cup. This is a brilliant show, and the Stringer B92 is chasing him down in a Ferrari. What do you think of Hybrid Nuke running currently in 2nd? Do you think that is talent or a little bit luck as well as talent?
That's some talent and a bit of luck there, because you could see some of the fastest guys were going backwards. I don't know if they had a wet setup or what, and they've just been caught out.
That's it. See, if the monitors, like you were telling me, were saying a wet race and have put a... Well, you know what, in a wet race you'd put a high downforce on, but I got told by a very wise person from a racing DP, big him up a little bit, that you should run a little bit of a higher downforce round here, as it's like Monaco, and I agree with him because it helps so much in my race.
Side by side into turn 3.
As we ride on board with My Bad at the moment, a great spot by Front Row Racing RI. Ray, our little guru here, looking for the action. Currently chasing down Konzo 5th in the McLaren. My Bad has got some speed about him at the moment, which is nice to see. He's getting more and more confidence every lap.
If Konzo pulls away in this sector, it means he's got high downforce, and then if My Bad comes back on the long straight, it means he's got less. So we'll be able to see what setup they've got. Oh, he's went wide there.
So there we go, guys, a little bit of nice information from Ray there. You can tell where a car is, if a car's improving in the tight sections with the slow corners, he will be running high downforce, and the fast flowing bits low downforce. It's a track that you really can't have an in-between setup, isn't it, Ray? You have to either go for one or the other.
Yeah, if you want to attack that middle sector, if you think that's going to cause you more time, then yeah, I think when I first joined Front Row Racing, this was my first track, and I think I put... Oh, Richard Davey, what's happened to him? He's left the session.
There we go, the drivers are just giving up on Hungary, and that's shocking. Maybe Richie Davey has a flight to catch, ready for Spa next week. So that will boost the positions up of the drivers behind. It is a shame for Richie Davey to have retired from the session, but there also always will be a good reason. He's a solid driver as well, which is why he's racing in Front Row Racing's World Series, as we're on board with Hybrid Nuke. Car looks like it has a loose end. No pun intended, or any dirty jokes to follow, Ray. Or as Hindle, see, Hindle looks like he's got a bit of an oversteery car as well. And I know Lewis Hamilton likes to have very high downforce on the front of his car and low downforce on the rear of the car. Do you reckon that's what some of the drivers are doing here?
Could be. I used my first season racing Front Row Racing DP setup. He kindly gave me that because I had nothing, and I think it was quite. It might have been a wee bit high downforce, but I done a free start, so for the 50% race.
I tell you what, this track eats your tyres up like it's just going out of fashion. It's like the track is made out of sandpaper. I really don't know what the Hungarian people use for tarmac, but I tell you what, if you were to roll down it bare-chested, you would have no skin left, because it just chews the tyres up.
If you want a wax, go to Hungary.
Exactly. If you want a back sack and crack, roll down the hill. On board with Twist Royalty and the Mercedes AMGs, chasing down Dave the Harp in the Williams as they come out of turns 6 and 7, the chicane. And my little tip was on Wednesday doing the comms was to try to keep as close as possible to the car in front, maybe 5 tenths behind them, so you're not losing too much aero performance, so you can get the DRS, because it's one activation zone for 2 DRS points, isn't it? So it's always good to keep behind the car around about here. I think the activation point's around here, isn't it, Ray?
Yeah, it's just before the last corner on the pit straight. So, the pit entry, somewhere around there, I think.
And Twist Royalty has opened said DRS as we have a battle going behind on the Ferraris.
3 wide up ahead, is it? Did the hybrid Nick? You must have just come out the pits.
The 2 Ferraris having a little battle, Stringy B92, and he's gone through the advertising for the Rolex. He smashed a Rolex. Luckily it's not a real one, or that would be an expensive mistake. He's getting chased down by the Ferrari, his teammate Dave Tiley in Dean Tiley, not Dave. Dean Tiley in 8th. And it looks like the Ferraris are giving it as good as they can, and we don't want to have what happened on Wednesday when the McLaren Hondas kind of had a little incident with one going into the barrier.
Wide there. Stringby was quite well.
Oh, Dean Tiley!
He's hit the sausage cup. Oh, yeah, sorry, Dean. He's hit the sausage cup, hasn't he?
That's the danger of taking too much curb on that chicane. You will go into that barrier. And Stocky's making a move now. Dean Tiley will be going backwards now. He looks like he's missing a wing. He will be going for the world famous slippery nose job in the pit stops. That's if he can get to the pits. That is unlucky. That we'll go on board with over the kink. Yeah, he did start from the back, but he was riding in, I think, about 6th or 7th at one point. So it may be due to a pit stop, but we will see, as he's going to benefit from Dean Tiley's error into the barriers. So he will go from 10th to 9th.
Twisted Royalty.
And we are on board with Dave the Harp and Twist Royalty as Ray has spotted on the track a nice little battle ensuing between the Williams and the Mercedes AMG, as the Mercedes of Twist Royalty is right behind Dave the Harp. Now this is a corner I think where Grosjean got penalised for exceeding track limits. Luckily these drivers are not doing it. So as they stay close together, they're going to go into the chicane. Now let's see if they keep it together and not take too much curb with too much excitement of pushing too hard to get a position done. And I'm hearing Domad are coming together with another car near the pits. That's why he's currently 10th. And look at that, Twist Royalty in the Mercedes AMGs. He's lining up Dave the Harp in the Williams. He's going to make he's trying a little lunge. I don't like people that make lunges because it's always going to look bad for one person. And they're catching up the 3rd place of the Sauber of my bad. So we have 2nd, 3rd and 4th, I think. Twisrotti is currently 4th position. He's 3rd now as a car has pitted. And we have the Mercedes AMG of Twisrotti currently 3rd. We'll try to catch on board with Hindle, but we're not allowed. Technical difficulties there. Hybrid Nuke currently 2nd. A good showing from the Toro Rosso driver. His first race for Friday's Cup. A good showing there. So what do you take now on seeing 10 laps from Hybrid Nuke? What's your impression there, Ray? Currently having technical problems with the PSN network, so sorry for technical difficulties for the viewers on the YouTube from a racing channel. Right, so we will just do it this way. We apologise to the viewers, as we will be hearing from the drivers who will try not to swear as we are live. That would be appreciated. We are currently on board with 2nd place Hybrid Nuke, Toro Rosso driver putting in a decent display, 4.6 seconds away from 1st place Hindle. As we go down and check the field, 10th place Dean Tiley had a little bit of an off into the barriers. He's trying to recover now with the laps counting down. He's currently got 7 laps to go. Let's see if we can put on a decent performance to carry on, as we're on board with David Harp, currently getting chased down by My Bad in the Sauber in 8th. Once again, I would like to apologise for the technical difficulties, but PSN is playing up, so we are in the current lobby with the drivers, so if we do hear any swearing, I'd like to apologise on their behalf, but hopefully they will keep it clean, as we are seeing My Bad in the Sauber chase down David Harp. David Harp is currently 30.7 seconds behind the leader, as he's going to try and resist the advances of My Bad, currently up to the last sector of the race, lap. Okay. Same here. Okay, so getting some information there from Front Row Racing DP that Hybrid Nuke has been putting on a cracking show. He's currently 2nd, and he is on his first race for Friday's Cup, keeping it in with the track limits. Has some good speed about him, race awareness, and that is going to be a good showing, and that's going to put him in good order for the World Series or World Championship reserve list. So we're on board with Over the Kink, currently in 4th, chasing down Konzo in 3rd. Over the Kink is right on his tail. He's putting in a decent performance here at the moment. He's had a little bit of an incident in the race, but putting on a decent recovery drive, and he's going past, coming up to turn 12. And Over the Kink makes the pass work. A decent pass there by Over the Kink, and he will be happy with that, as Konzo looks to come back at him as they come into the frustratingly slow turn 13. And they on the throttle early as they come out of turn 13 and coming up to the DRS detection point. Konzo will have DRS on Over the Kink, so Dom will have to make a sensible choice of which way he will be placing his car going into turn 1. And Konzo is right behind Over the Kink, currently 2-3 tenths behind him. He's going to get onto the 2nd DRS point and hopefully make a turn, and make a move into turn 2. He's still stuck behind Dom. Interesting race so far. If we do still have Front Row Racing RI, aka Ray, What are your thoughts so far on the race? Any driver, as we've heard from Front Racing DP, impressed with Hybrid Nuke? What are your thoughts on a certain driver in the race so far? Just asking Ray, what's one driver that has impressed you in the race so far? We will move on as we're having, as I say, technical difficulties, so we will go through the field and get a little catch up of where the drivers are. Dean Tiley currently in 10th position. He had a little bit of an off, lost his nose. On board with my bad, currently 9th in the Sauber, 38.0 seconds away from first place. Having a decent drive though, wouldn't write him off for getting a few more positions. On board with David Hart, the man my bad is trying to chase down, currently 8th, and he is trying to chase down a Ferrari as to go through the start finish straight. Stringy B 92, that said Ferrari, currently 7th. He's having a mixed race. He does seem to be extending the track limits a couple of times, but still putting in a decent display, which is nice to see as we keep going down the grid. Currently 6th, Stocky 2790 in the... He was in a decent position. He qualified second. He qualified second, and then he went down to 4th, and he kind of had a few mixed laps, I'd say, that he went off, crashed through some advertising sign as well, but he's trying to put on a decent display to get some more positions. And on board with position 5, Twist Royalty, he's keeping it nice and clean. As I say that, he does extend the track limits for his benefit there, but he seems to be trying to keep it in control at the moment. On board with currently number 4th is Konzo, a decent drive yesterday in the World Series when it started to suddenly rain at the end of the race. He's in the McLaren Honda at the moment, currently 18 seconds away from first place. On board with Over the Kink, impressive again, a decent driver. He's third at the moment, and he's looking to chase down second place of Hybrid Nuke. Hybrid Nuke is currently second, as I say, and he is only 5.6 seconds away from first place. He will be trying to put lap after lap of decent pace to try and catch first place up Hindle, and Hindle will have to have his wits about him as we go into turn 6, turn 7, the chicane, and Hybrid Nuke takes it perfectly well, not taking too much curb, no unsettling of the car, which is great to see. On board with 10th place Dean Tiley, first race in Front Racing FRR-idays Cup. A few little incidents, but overall an okay performance from him, and I'm sure he will take heart from it and look forward to Spa next week as Front Row Racing World Championship, World Series and FRR-idays car head to Spa next week. On board with 9th place, my bad 66, looking to chase down David Hart, currently in 8th place. He's a solid driver here. He started in the FRR-idays Cup, rose to a permanent seat in World Series, and that's due to the fact of the solid work hard that he does. A great racer, great guy, and he's showing it again. Stringy B 92, currently 7th at the moment in the Ferrari, and he's looking to try and get into 6th place. He's 35 seconds away from first place as he extends to the exit of turn 14 again. And like we say, we do hand out advice instead of penalties for the FRR-idays Cup drivers and anyone who takes part in this event, as we want them to progress as drivers to try and get into the World Championship and World Series. And board with Stocky 2790 as he tries that to take down 5th place. He's got a nice bit of pace about him as we go into the last couple of laps of the race. If we can hear from Front Row Racing RI on his take on Stocky's performance today, please. Okay, on board with Twist Royalty currently 5th, but he has Stocky that is currently probably about 8/10 of a second behind him. Now Stocky's he's had a little slide coming out of turn 13, maybe a bit too early on the power because it is a frustratingly slow corner. It can be annoying. It comes out the exit of turn 14. Stocky is currently probably about 7 to 8/10 behind Twist Royalty. Twist Royalty is going to be having to defend going into turn 1 and turn 1A. As long as Stocky can just handle the DRS with the little tricky turn 1A, he should be able to get a little bit closer to Twist Royalty and the Mercedes on board with Over the Kink, and he's gained a second since we were last on board, so about a second and about a lap and a little bit from Over the Kink, showing some good pace there as he comes into the chicane. Let's hopefully he will show the viewers how it's done, and that is done perfectly from Over the Kink. A great bit of driving there from Dom. As we go on board with Hybrid Nuke, he's lost a second to first place, so he's now 5.996 away from Hindle. As we are on the penultimate lap, he's going actually into turn 13. He's coming out of turn 13 into turn 14 on the penultimate lap to start the last lap, as Hindle is already on the last lap. So it's been an eventful race. Wet qualifying into a dry race, which would have probably made most drivers happy, but if they'd have started with a wet setup in the race, it could have slowed them down a bit. And we are on board with 10th place Dean Tiley. A nice display from him. He lost his nose, but he's still trying to put all his effort in to finish this race and give a good showing of himself. He's currently 10th on board with 9th place My Bad in the Sauber F1 team. He's putting in a nice solid drive. Would be nice to see how his race went afterwards, because he is a lot faster than 9th place. In 8th place we have Dave De Harp in the Williams, as a little bit of a slight lock up, it looks like, going into turn 1. He's got My Bad probably about 2. As Front Row Racing RI's pointed out, Stocky is putting heat on Twist Royalty at the moment as they go through turn 6 and 7 the chicane. It's lap 18, last lap, and Stocky looks like he's trying to get the move done on Twist Royalty. Twist Royalty goes wide. Is the pressure getting to Twist Royalty at the moment? Stocky is right behind him. There's barely a tenth between them. They're coming out of turn 11, going down the little mini straight to turn 12 as race winner Hindle is first. A great race by him, as we are going to stay on board with Stocky. They're going into the frustratingly slow turn 13 as Stocky has to put on a bit of the brakes as he nearly runs into the back of 5th place Twist Royalty. They're going into the last corner. Looks like Twist Royalty has held off the advances of Stocky, but a good showing by both drivers. Nice race there from them all. As we say, Hindle finished first. Great result from him. And Hybrid Nuke second. A decent display on his debut in the FRR-idays Cup. Over the Kink in 3rd place. A brilliant showing from the driver, showing some decent driving as well, especially through the chicane. That's how you tackle that chicane, the way Dom did. I would agree with Front Row Racing DP. Hybrid Nuke, driver of the day. A stunning debut drive. As we're on board with Dean Tiley, he crosses in 10th. A solid driver himself, but Hybrid Nuke, brilliant drive by him. As we have to congratulate the top 3. Okay, and we congratulate the top 3 of Hindle, 1st place. 2nd place, Hybrid Nuke, our driver of the day. 3rd place will be Over the Kink, if memory serves me right. Over Kink, sorry Dom. It is Over Kink. Now I've got it right. And we have the final race classification as Hindle 1st, Hybrid Nuke 2nd, Over Kink 3rd. There we go. Remembered it. Konzo 4th, 5th, Twist Royalty 6th, Stocky 7th, Stringy B 92, 8th, Dave De Harp 9th, My Bad 66, 10th, Dean Tiley. And a decent job by all drivers, and would like to congratulate Hybrid Nuke on driver of the day. First race for FRR-idays Cup, first race for Front Row Racing, and he gets driver of the day. Decent performance there. And I'd also like to thank the drivers for not swearing a lot through the problems we're having. So congratulations, drivers, for keeping it as clean as possible with the swearing. Sorry, what was that, Dave? Would like to thank Front Row Racing DP for keeping an eye on the track while we were suffering with PSN problems, especially Front Row Racing RI for producing some fantastic spots there. We had a great, really good event, interesting, from the Hungaroring for the FRR-idays Cup. A wet qualifier session turned into a dry race, and two new drivers putting in some decent displays. Like I say, you want to join in with the FRR-idays Cup, you find us on Facebook, you message the page, you could be in this race at Spa next week, you could be showing us your skills. You know, we've got tons and tons of videos. We have Stewards Guys on a YouTube channel which you are watching from. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, watch our videos. It'll take your fancy, you message us and you could be racing. And we are starting a Project Cars League, which is on a Friday night and a Sunday night. There's only a few places left. If you are into Project Cars, please give us a message to the page. I would also like to thank the viewers and the drivers for turning up tonight, and I am Front Row Racing NW, Edam Hills as some like to call me, and I would like to wish you all the best, and please join us for the Project Cars streams that will be starting very soon on the YouTube channel at approximately 9 PM. And next week we have Front Row Racing World Championship race stream starts at 7:30 PM on the YouTube channel at Spa and World Series. Thursday 7:30 PM also on the YouTube channel, and of course next Friday the FRR-idays Cup 7:30 PM at Spa at this channel what you're watching on. I'd like to say good night from myself and Front Row Racing DP and Front Row Racing RI. Enjoy the rest of your night.